Hey you guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Juana and I am the crafty Puerto Rican. If you're new, welcome. Today I'm going to be working in embroidery. So I'm going to show you how easy that I embroider some sun hat, beach hats. And I'm going to be using both my single needle embroidery machine and my multi-needle embroidery machine. This is a Brother SE1900, but you can use any single needle embroidery machine. And this one is a Ricoma EM1010, same. Any multi-needle will do the job. I want to show you how easy that I do it on both machines so that you can compare the results at the end. So guys, if you're new to the channel and you're not subscribed yet, consider subscribing to my channel, The Crafty Puerto Rican, and don't forget to click the thumb up or like button at the end. So let's get started. Okay, so this is a 5x7 hoop and it's gonna be for a single needle embroidery machine. So I'm gonna go ahead and gonna show you how I did it. I'm gonna go click off this one. So the first thing that I did was I created a visual of the hat so that it makes it easier for me to see what I'm doing. So I chose the hoop. I went to this merge designs that is part of Embrilliance. I click the hard one and I chose a circle. And then I click OK. And this is the representation of the outer rim of the hat, okay? This one comes in an applique design and I don't need an applique. I just need a simple circle. So I right click and I convert it into stitches. I open it up in here. I got rid of the applique part. I delete it. I click this one, right click and delete it. And I only left with the simple stitch of a circle. I'm gonna need two circles for this design. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna right click. I'm gonna go ahead and copy, right click, paste, and make another circle. I'm gonna put it aside for now because I don't need it right now. This one, I measured the circumference of the hat and it measures a 15 inches of diameter, the width diameter. All around is 15 inches. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna select this and I'm gonna convert it into 15 inches. I'm gonna make it 15 inches in diameter. So I'm gonna go ahead up here, make sure that this one is locked in here, and I'm gonna click 15. Enter. Okay, and it's supposed to be this big, don't be scared. That's the way it's gonna look. I'm gonna use the second circle and I'm going to select it, put it in the middle, go to the icon over here to center it in place. And when I measure the center part of the hat, the area where you put your head in, the center part, it measures 7 inches in diameter or 7 inches in width all the way across, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing up here and I'm gonna put 7 inches, okay? Okay. So now what I'm gonna do, I need, let me make it a little bit smaller so you can see what I'm gonna do next. About here, it's fine. So now I'm going to measure from this part of the hat, which is the width, which we know already is 15 inches. And then also we're gonna measure from this point of the hat, the center of the hat, to the lower rim, which is 4 inches. That's what I measured. Remember, this depends on the size of hat you have. Some hats are bigger than others. So you have to measure your hat from this part to this part and from the width, which is the diameter, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and select another shape, which is gonna be a square in this case. Hit okay, and I'm gonna do the same thing I did with the circle. I'm gonna right click and convert it into stitches because this is a applique design and I need it in a simple stitch, not applique. So I'm gonna delete it, select and delete it. And I am left with a square. Next thing that I'm going to do is that I'm going to now measure it like I told you, from here to here, 15, and from here to here, 4. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna unlock it here because there are two different measurements. So I'm going to select the square and I'm going to switch it to 15 inches. Enter. And then I'm going to change the numbers on the bottom to 4 inches. Enter. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get that and I'm going to lower it in here, touching the part of the rim, the bottom part of the rim, about there, a little bit higher. Okay, and I'm gonna make it smaller to show you what I'm gonna do next. Once I have it like this, I'm gonna select the whole thing and I wanna make sure that it's centered in place. So I'm going to go ahead on the bottom here, what it says align and distribute. I'm gonna choose center horizontally and I'm gonna apply and then close. And that way I make sure that it's centered. The next thing that I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna select the whole thing again and I'm gonna move it to the top and the bottom of the square is gonna touch the rim right here. Okay. Gonna go make sure that it's centered again, just in case it moved the movement. It stays same. Okay, so you want it to be touching the bottom part of the square. Touching, you can afford to move it a little bit higher. Yeah, right there, okay? Okay, so this is the part that we're gonna be writing our design. Now, I want to make sure that this is not gonna move while I'm working on it. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to select again the whole thing. And I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna lock the whole thing. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna select this and I'm gonna press lock. All right, it's locked. Now I'm gonna be working with the font. Let me make it larger again so that you can see what I'm doing. So I'm gonna be working on the font and I have this space to work on, which is this part of the rim all the way to here, okay? You know what? I think I'm gonna make it a little bit goes, that is better. I'm just doing this for my own visual so that it tells me and gives me an idea of where to put my design, okay? This is the way I learned how to do it, like I mentioned before. So it's easy for me to do it this way, okay? So anywho, let's do the font now. I'm gonna go ahead and click the font. And I'm gonna write the word queen. Okay, and I'm gonna make it bigger so we can see what we're doing. Okay, so this is the word queen, and the next thing we're gonna do is choose the font. I'm gonna be using a font from Stitchtopia. It's called Bethany. All the way down here. Right here. And I'm gonna be using the 2.5 or 2.5 inches, right? And this is it right here, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and choose another color because I usually like to be working with the blue color when I do this. I don't know why. It's me. Just for the visual because it helps me a little bit better. I might choose actually that color for the hat, but I'm not sure yet. So I'm gonna go ahead and do okay. So I have the wording here. Once I have this in here, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to do the curve design. I'm gonna choose the right panel, this text on the circle icon, click in there, and then I'm going to click on the bottom, place on the bottom of the curve. In other words, the curve is gonna be placed on the bottom. And I have other videos that I've done of the design that you guys have seen me doing this. It is the same thing. Okay, once I have it like this, you choose how curved you want it. And actually, this is not looking bad. The first time I did it, it didn't came this fast. I don't think I have nothing to change. You can make it bigger if you want to, but make sure that when you choose the size, depending on the hat that you use and the style, make sure that the word or the font is not going to touch the inner rim of the hat, because then when you try to embroider, the needle might hit this part of the hat. Same on the bottom. You don't want it too close to the rim on the bottom, because most straw hats have double stitching in here, and you don't want to embroider on top of the double stitching. So I will say try to keep it more or less like this. This is what I will suggest. You can make it like that. Yeah, that's pretty good. You can make it longer if you wish also. It's up to you. Okay, you can make, if you wanted to make curvier on the bottom dial down here, you can adjust it. Okay, make it curvier or keep it the way it was. I will keep it this way. That looks pretty good to me. If you decide to make it curvier, make sure that you separate the letters as necessary. Like in this case, the Q, you will have to make it more separated, a little bit higher, like that. Okay, and this is a little bit curvier. All right. So once I have this, let's say this is the way I want it, nothing wrong with this, I'm gonna keep it this way. You're gonna go ahead and you have to get rid of the circles and the square, because if you leave this like this and take it to be embroidered, the machine is gonna tell you that it cannot embroider because the design is too large, because it's counting this as part of the design. So you have to get rid of this. So the way you're gonna get rid of it is, again, you're gonna select again the different parts, and you're gonna hit delete, and it leaves you with the design itself. Once you have that, you're gonna select the design and you're gonna center it in the hoop, and it's centered. This design is 6x2, okay, which is perfect for a 5x7 hoop. I'm gonna go ahead now to go to the next step, which is save it. I'm gonna save it as Stitch and Working, because that way you are allowed to save it and you can change it later on, or you can repeat the design in the future. So I'm gonna save as, and then you already know how to do it. In this case, you will select PES because it's a single needle machine, the Brother that I'm gonna use. And then here you will write the file name. I'm not gonna go through this step because as you saw, I have already saved it, so I'm gonna cancel it. I also always print my design, especially in this case. I can use this template to place it on the hat and let me know exactly where I want to place the design to be embroidered. Okay, guys? So this is everything for this little design. I'm gonna show you now the one that I designed for my multi-needle embroidery machine because it's a larger design. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm going to click this off. I don't wanna change it. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna hit files, and I'm gonna show you the one that I did already, which is this one right here. And I did this one, is almost 10.5 inches wide. So I'm gonna go ahead and take you to the table for the hooping on the one for the single needle embroidery machine. I'm going to be using a 5x7 hoop. I haven't decided yet if I'm gonna use my magnetic hoop or if I'm gonna be using the regular Brother hoop, okay? So guys, see you in a little bit. So this is how I hooped the hat for the single needle embroidery machine. This is a magnetic hoop. You've seen me using this hoop before. If you've never seen this before, if you're new to embroidery, I have videos showing how to use this. And I place the magnets in here to attach it. And this is sticky stabilizer right here. The design is to the side a little bit. I don't want it in the front, so I just place it in the on the side. My hoop, I mark the center because this hoop doesn't come with centers or anything. So I mark the center and I use the Embrilliance printout of the design. And I use this to let me know what the center of the design is, all right? That is how I did it. And I'm gonna hook it to the machine. I'm going to be using a topper, water-soluble stabilizer. Okay. And I did the same thing with the one that I embroidered in the multi-needle embroidery machine. This will help the stitches to stay high and not dig into the holes of the fabric that the hat is made of, all right? If you notice this dents in here, if you don't use this, you take the risk of the stitches to sink into those little grooves in here, all right? So now I'm gonna take it to place it in the embroidery machine. So we are already hooked with the magnetic hoop like I showed you earlier. If you have questions about this hoop, you can ask me those questions on the description box. And also I have videos that I have used this on other project or other projects that you can check it out, all right? So let me see if I'm okay when it comes to going around. That is clearing everything, that's very important. And it looks like I cleared everything. And for this project, I did rotate the design to 90 degrees because it was showing going the opposite side, and want to make sure that everything is in the same orientation. Okay, so I'm gonna go embroidery, and the first colors that I chose is this brilliant blue. I am using the broad thread brand for the embroidery thread. It's what I have used in this machine since I got it. I have about 3 sets of them. I also use Madeira because I have them for my multi-needle, so they both work perfectly. You can use any of your embroidery thread. I don't think it would make a difference. So I'm gonna start this by removing the design because it's already centered. And the way I center, like I explained before, I did mark a little notch with a marker in this frame because this frame doesn't give you any orientation, but I did follow the notch that I marked on the top of the hoop so that I can align it to the Embrilliance printout. Okay, so I'm gonna take this off, and then I'm going to place water-soluble stabilizer on top. Okay. This sticky stabilizer is very sticky. Okay, very sticky, so that you know, which is good. Okay. Let me cut this thread just a little bit too long. So remember why I use this, like I explained earlier, to use the water soluble, because remember that this straw hat has the pattern on the fabric. These magnets are very magnetic. Wow. Okay, I'm just trying to use the same magnets to adjust the stabilizer, but they are really magnetic. It wants to hop into the other one on this side. Yeah. So. Is this flat enough? Okay. All right. So yeah, so that I want to make sure that the font or the design is gonna stay on the surface and it doesn't embroider inside the grooves, you know? All right, so we're ready to start. I'm gonna go ahead and lower the foot and we're gonna start embroidering. Okay, so I had to rethread the machine because I think I didn't thread it the correct way. So let's do that. Yeah, it was thread. It did not cut on the top, I can tell. So I'm gonna go back a couple of steps, even though it wasn't that much. Let's say maybe 1, 2, 3, maybe 4, 5. Okay. All right, so let's start again. Now we're cooking. And I forgot to mention also that I added the extra design. If you notice on the screen, I added a bee, which I did not include it in the demonstration when I was explaining how to do the design. I added that bee just to give a little cuteness to the design. That bee is from Creative Fabrica. Okay. So I'm going to include as much as I can on the embroidery part. If I see that the video is taking a long time, I think it says there 27 minutes total, so I'm not going to show the whole 27 minutes. So I'm going to go and forward some of the parts of the process, okay? So now I'm gonna get ready to thread the machine for the bee design, okay? So this part consists of 3 color changes, which is the white, the yellow, and the black for the bee. And this is Madeira. It's like a yellow, kind of like mustardy color. The number for the thread is 1772 in case you want to use this shade of yellow, which is really most like yellow mustard. And then the white, of course, and then black. And this black and white one are from Bro thread. Embroidery thread. Okay, so let's start, people. Get more close so that you can see the details of the bee closer. I'm moving you around, okay? You can see the detail of this part. next color change. Okay, so the next color change was the yellow. It's already on the yellow, so let's start. So definitely for this project, using the magnet hook or magnetic hook with a sticky stabilizer is the way to go. Again, if you don't like using sticky stabilizer, you can create the same use with the regular tear away stabilizer. All you have to do is just temporary adhesive spray, which is this one. I use this brand. You can use any other brand. It doesn't make a difference. I use this 505 temporary adhesive for fabric, and you just spray the whole thing, and then you place the hat, and it will stick in there. And then you use the magnets to just for assurance, you know, because even though it's sticky, I always use the magnets to make sure that I'm not going to lose registration on the embroidery. All right, and that's the way you do it. I use the sticky stabilizer on the straw hat because the straw hat is hard, it's not furry, and it's going to be easily removable. That's the only reason. But for the most part, I use this with this frame and regular throwaway for stickiness. All right, you can also choose to use straight pins and secure it around also if you're going to be using the regular 5x7 hook, which is this one right here. The 5x7 hook, if you decide to use the one that came with the machine, you are going to go ahead and either use sticky stabilizer, you're gonna hoop it and float it and then stick the hat. You don't have to use the magnetic hook to do this project, okay? To be clear. And also, if you don't want the sticky stabilizer, you can use this as with regular tearaway and do the same thing that I explained for this one. Regular tearaway spray with a temporary adhesive spray, then place the hat, and then use pins to secure it in the corner, just to assure you that you're not going to lose registration, okay? So this is very good thing to use if you don't have this. Either way, it will work fine, okay? So now we're going to get to the next color change, which will be the black. Okay, so this is the last color change. Well, guys, we are done. I'm gonna hit OK, and it's looking very cute. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna remove the hoop from the machine, and then I'm gonna go clean up all the stitches. Okay, and I'll see you when I'm done. All right. Okay, so we are here on the table. We're gonna remove the water soluble. And I'm gonna just do just a little bit. I'm gonna just remove the rest off camera. All right. I just want you to have an idea, more or less, how it's gonna be looking. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna clean up this later. All cleaned up, and I'll see you at the end so that you see how it looks. I'm gonna rip it up. Okay. This is the back of the embroidery, which looks very nice and clean. I love the machine. It does an excellent job embroidering. Okay. And again, all you have to do is flip this off, and I will see you at the end of the video with the end results once I'm cleaning this up. All right. So guys, see you in a little bit. So this is the end result after I clean it up. There's some water soluble left in the little corners, but I will remove it with the damp cloth later on. But look at how cute it came out. And this is the back, nice and clean. It's on the side the way I want it. This is the back of the hat, and you see how it's on the side as opposed to like in the front like this. I want to like sideways a little bit. That's cuteness. So next, I'm going to show you how I hooped the hat for the multi-needle embroidery machine and a little bit of the embroidery process. This is how I hoop the hat for the multi-needle. I use sticky stabilizer, and then I secure it with pins also and pull the top of the hat backwards. Yeah, so I use my Ricoma original hoop for this project because the mighty hoop will not work for this. At least the 8x13. Maybe a 5x13 hoop from the mighty hoop might have worked on this area. It's kind of long like this. It comes long like that. I don't have that hoop. That would have helped in the mighty hoop, but for the regular 18x13, it would not snap. The magnet was too thick in this area. So that's why I always keep my original hoop, because believe me, it does help in some occasions where you cannot use your mighty hoop. So yeah. I changed the wording on the hat, but I decided to change it to summer fun. Let me show you. I know it's upside down, but I decided to change it to summer fun, and I added a sun design just to make it more cuter. So yeah, so to show you that you can add whatever little design you want to your hat also. It doesn't have to be just wording, okay? This will make it more interesting. This is how cute it came out. I am in love with this hat. The embroidery looks amazing. And it's very good to know that you can embroider this on your multi-needle. Look at the back. It's a clean embroidered. So yeah, I just love it. So guys, these are both hats. These are the single needle and the multi-needle embroidery machine. So they came out amazing. And so I just want to show you that you can create this project using both embroidery machines. So thank you for spending this time with me. I hope you like this tutorial. If you're new to my channel, consider subscribing to my channel, The Crafty Puerto Rican. I will see you soon with some new content. See you later. Bye-bye. Hasta luego.